Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we are live right here on Keep It Real Show in Nairobi, Kenya. My goodness, with a powerful woman, Dr. Esther Muchemi. We are going to be welcoming her exactly at 8 o'clock. I want to appreciate some of you that came in so early. Now that you have come in so early, please begin to share. Let's help ourselves to broadcast what is happening in Africa. Sometimes people in the world need to know that we have stuff in Africa. And so please share this. If you're watching me from Facebook, go to you're already on my page, Pastor Esther Obasi-ike. So I would like you to share. Just go to that Pastor Esther Obasi-ike's page, share it to your own page. You take it, you share it. Some of you belong to groups, especially women. You belong to so many groups, Bible study groups, singles groups, entrepreneurship groups. You belong to so many groups. Why don't you simply just share in all your groups, Some time back, Facebook rated Kenya as one of the people on top when it comes to group Facebook. So let's maximize it. Let's use it to promote something that is positive. Let's invest our energy positively. So begin to share right now. I will also advise our guest, before I introduce her, to share on her own Facebook. We want to hear the voices of her people. We want to be sure that her people are following us. And if you are on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube, because we will keep on bringing you this kind of conversations. We keep on bringing this conversation. I've always said, such conversations we have on Keep It Real Show are conversations that when you pay to attend the seminar, you pay $500, sometimes $1,000. We're giving it to you free, because freely we have received, freely we give. That we are giving it freely to you does not in any way undermine the value that it has. And so the appreciation we want from you is to help us share it and let someone somewhere who feels that the whole weight of the whole world is resting upon his or her shoulder, let them be liberated just by being part of this conversation. So if you're on my YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube. Make sure you don't just go there and watch wonderful things we are doing without subscribing. Subscribe to my YouTube so that you get notifications, and like what we are doing, and comment. Be part of it. Don't just watch, be part of it. Your voice is needed. Your voice is a voice of strength. So we need to hear your voice. Ask your questions, make your contributions. We are not trying to load information into your head. You have also information. Most of you watching me as CEOs, you are very top in where you are. So let's engage and interact with one another. If you're on my Facebook and you have not started following me, don't just go there and share. Follow me, touch the icon follow and like and thumbs up. Those are the four important things in Facebook. Number one, you've got to share. Number two, you've got to follow if you love what the fellow is doing. Number three, you've got to like what that fellow is doing. Number four, you've got to touch thumbs up, meaning this conversation is top notch. So this is very important. I want to appreciate Rosemary for coming in very early. Centrine, Rosemary, you came in 7:38. You logged in 7:38. Centrine, let me see what time you came in, because you really came in quite early. Centrine came in 7:39. Christine came in 7:41. Grace came in 7:48. This shows the importance we attach to this. The way we go for business meetings. Edmore came in 7:50. And he's actually greeting us from Libya. Edmore is saying, patiently waiting, mommy. Greetings from Libya. We are so happy to have you, Edmore, all the way from Libya. Those of you that will be logging in from other parts of the world outside Kenya, kindly tell us where you are coming from, so that we have an idea where you are coming from. Margaret Kamau, Lynn Marie, Amy Azere, Blessing Ann. Good evening to every one of you. God bless all of you. Minister Ivy, God bless you. Dolly, God bless you. Minister Edicon Erastus, God bless you. Pauline, Lynn, God bless you. Perez, God bless you. Mary, Brenda, Rehema, Raphael, blessing. Of course, Centrin is saying, maybe Centrin knows you. That's my daughter. She's my spiritual daughter, but perhaps she knows you because she's saying, great to see you, Dr. Mrs. Esther Muchemi. All right. Anungare, Lydia, Simple Yemi, Atieno, Wendy, Daktari, and Wangome, Happiness, Celeste. So many people. Imagine we have not started. North Wind, South Wind, they say, Mommy and Dr. Esther are looking gorgeous. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Somebody, Princess, is saying, good evening, Mommy, and happy Jamhuri Day. God bless you too. We love our nation, Kenya. Happy Jamhuri Day to every one of us. We are proud to be Kenyans. We couldn't have been anywhere else better than this country. Raphael is saying, I'm watching from Somalia. I'm watching from Somalia. So we have somebody from Somalia, Libya, watching us, and I know so many others will be logging in from different parts of the world. All right, today we are heavily loaded, so we don't have time to waste. Don't forget our revival prayer meeting tomorrow. If you had followed the Congress, RCCG annual Congress in Nigeria, I followed absolutely. You would have noticed when Mommy Gio was raising prayer, it was prayer for the church for God to set us on fire. It was prayer for preservation of missionaries. It was prayer for soul winning, mission, evangelism. And so when you listen to some of these things, you will know that we cannot keep silent. We have to pray for revival. And one good thing about praying for revival, those that back revival are the first beneficiaries of the fruits of revival. They are the first beneficiaries of the fruit of revivals. So please make sure you join me tomorrow, 8 p.m. And you know it's a public holiday, so you don't have any reason why you will not be. I know some of you will be traveling from wherever you've gone to, but make sure you tune in. Even if you are tuning in, logging in from on the road or whatever, just make sure you follow the prayers of tomorrow. Damaris is saying, wow, thank you, Mommy, for hosting Esther Muchemi. I have her book. Is a transformer. All right, so maybe she will talk about that book later, since somebody is saying she has the book. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to share. Right now, I want to welcome on board Dr. Esther Muchemi, our guest, and you know how we do it everywhere. We give our guests a clapping ovation. Normally, the word says standing ovation, but I know you are home, so you may not stand, but you can clap. So let's give her a clap ovation. Let's just give her. Celebrate our own, our own. When we see Africans that are making waves, we celebrate them. I normally tell our women, the Queen Esther's generation, we are never jealous of anyone. You know why? A star does not envy another star. If you understand who you are and you know that you are a substance, when you see another substance, you celebrate. So that's what we do on this show. And so, Esther, you're welcome on the show. God bless you. I want to assume that many of the people logging in don't know who Esther Muchemi is. In case this is the first time they are meeting you, could you just in 5 minutes introduce yourself to us? God bless you. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Pastor. I'm greatly honored to be in this platform. It's a platform that I've honestly desired to be on. For whatever reason, I may not explain it, but I've desired to have this conversation. And yes, my name is Dr. Esther Muchemi. I am the Samchi Group of Company CEO. The Samchi Group of Companies started as a telecommunication company, but over time we have got into other companies. Therefore, we are in a real estate, we are in microfinances, we are in hospitality, and a few other things. I am also a leader because I sit in boards. I'm the current chairperson of Safaricom Dealers Association. I worship at Rejoice Baptist Church under Pastor Elijah Waje. And I am a mother. And all those titles are good and they are great. But the title I love most is that I'm a child of God because I'm born again and I love Jesus as my personal savior. I got saved when I was 13 years old. I think I was in Form 1, and I've walked that journey as a student, as a wife, as a leader, as a business person. And to be honest, and from the bottom of my heart, with no fear of contradiction, I do not miss any other life outside the life of a Christian and one who honors and trusts God in all that I do. Yeah.
Can we just give a round of applause to this introduction? Introduction that can be a book. 2 minutes introduction, but just that little introduction can make you to say, I want to know who this woman is. How could one woman carry all these titles? Let's give her a round of applause. Let's give her a round of applause. Let's give her a round of applause. Wow, we give God all the glory. And you know, I love what she says unapologetically. I am a child of God. And for her, that is the most important title out of all other titles. And you know why? Because when all is said and done, that is all that remains in our lives. All other titles will fade, all other titles will go, but a child of the Lord remains a child in the kingdom forever. Glory be to God. Now, Esther, I want to ask you a question. Are you a billionaire, or are you a multimillionaire, or are you a Tanzania? How do you rate yourself in terms of your worth in the marketplace?
Oh, I have never called myself a billionaire, but I know outside there the press has talked about that, and so it is outside in the public, and I cannot deny that. But honestly, as I do my work and I engage in whatever I do, it is not that what moves me. And to be honest, sometimes I was surprised that people can rate me as such in the marketplace, and more so recognizing me as a woman who has actually worked my way up to where I am. And truly, I came from the village. I am not where I am or what I have because of a rich background, or because I inherited anything, or because I have any political favors. I am a story of that village girl who went to the local schools, to the local secondary school, tarmac like any other Kenyan, and somehow, because of the consistency and the favor of God and believing in doing what is right all the time, I am where I am. But it's been a journey, it's been a process, because sometimes people look at where you are now and imagine that that's where you are born in. But for me, it's working my way upward up to where I am today.
And so we can actually say Esther is a billionaire because it is it is in the public domain. It is in the public domain, and you can't deny it. And of course, we can't deny the faithfulness of God. You know, we can't deny if God has been good to us. We need to publish it everywhere, and that is part of evangelism. That is part of evangelism. Because when a born again Christian says, yes, my father owned the cattle upon 1,000 hills, and when I play in accordance with his will, I can tap into his resources. I think that is excellent. So we are hosting tonight a Kenyan female billionaire, a Kenyan female billionaire. And let me ask you, you look so young. Just looking at you, somebody is saying, nice to see you, my friend Esther Muchemi. Looking forward to this fellowship. The name of the fellow is Jana Gikera. So just looking at you, one could say, this lady is too young to be talking what she's talking about. Can you tell us how old you are, and how what do you think about people who may be saying, oh, I wish I was younger, I could have, ABCD, I've lost a lot of time. Can you talk about your age and what time is in the game of life before we transit now to go to details on how you built your career under God?
Well, of course, women never talk of their ages in public. However, I worked as an auditor for 10 years, and I have been an entrepreneur for 20 years. And I started my career when I was a graduate from the University of Nairobi, accounting option. If you add all those numbers, it will give you an indication of what my age is. I have two grown-up children, and so I am not as young as people think. However, I always say there is a place and there is something that you can do to keep on, do I say keep on looking good? First of all, as a child of God, you operate from a place of favor. There are certain struggles that you don't go through because you know, even when there are issues of stress, and sometimes the world is very stressful. But there is one thing that I know, that when I'm going through difficult times, I have somebody, and that is God, where I can lay my burdens to. And I always ask myself and I wonder, how do those people who are not Christians live their lives? When you know there is a time you feel like you have hit the wall. For me, I love it because when I feel like I've reached the end, I know there is somebody who can hold me and take care of me. Having said that, I am sensitive on matters of health. I do what I must do to eat well. I exercise. I rest because it's important for you to be mentally okay, to be spiritually okay, to be physically okay. And if you combine all those things, and this is what I usually say, I want even to go before God and tell God, God, I have tried. So let's have a conversation on this. And if you have done your very best, and you trust and believe in God, you can have a testimony that God is able to sustain you outside and beyond the parameters of men.
Wow, that's good to know. So let's go now to how you built your career. When we began, you introduced yourself as a CEO of a company or group of companies. You talked about you are in telecommunication. You talked about you are in hospitality. You talked about you are in real estate. I mean, could you just take us a little, take us how through how the journey? How did you enter into the first business? How did that business give birth to a branch? Just give us a brief of how you have moved in your career world.
As have said before, I graduated some years back, I think 1985 or thereabout, with a BCom accounting option from the University of Nairobi. I always joke and make fun when it was the University of Nairobi because it was only one and it used to have 3,000 students. So you can imagine for you to be there, it used to be the pride of the village. I finished my course. I came out with a very good grade. And after that, I tarmacked like anybody else. And we had to tarmac because we knew nobody in Nairobi. Remember, I said I came from the village. But somehow, because I'd done very well, an auditing firm, one of the top 4 auditing firm in Kenya, today I think they call themselves Ernest Young, picked me because of my good grades. And I started as an audit trainee with a salary of Kenya shillings 4,000 at the lowest grade of that setup. But I always say I took that 4,000 shillings and that position with a grateful heart. A grateful heart because I knew and I honored the fact that they allowed me to get into the labor market. So I took it with humility and I took it with gratitude. But there's one thing I say and I feel it's important, especially to the young people. I knew that in 6 months, I would double that salary. How did I have the confidence that I would double the salary? Because I knew what I needed. I knew what I needed to do. And what I needed to do was to work hard, give a clean file, and pass my exams. And so for 6 months, that's what I focused on. And I always say, in those 6 months, and even after the 6 months, because it took me a year to qualify as a CPAK, I cannot remember one day that I slept before 1 a.m. How would I sleep before 1 a.m.? And I will leave work at 5, go to Strathmore, go and to be taught, then go home, cook, do my homework, finish the work that I had carried home, etc. And that became my routine for many years. I grew up in that career from a trainee up to a salaried partner. And that took me 10 years. And a salaried partner, by any standard, is also a very high position with good salary. Then and even now, I believe it attracts good salary. But there's one thing that made me quit at that point. I've always believed in my greatness, and I've always said that, Esther, you are made for great things. And because of that, wherever I go, I'll give my very best. I'll project my greatness that I believe in. But it came a time, because I had desired to become a profit sharing partner, I waited for 3 years and this was not coming. And it's at that point I felt that somebody is holding my greatness. And for me, I will not allow any person, man or woman, to make me not get to where I am destined to go. My life, my destiny is about me and my God. And as long as God has validated me, and as long as I have clarity of where I want to go, I'll pursue it regardless of what everybody thinks and feels. And so at that point, I did what I needed to do. And what I needed to do is to call myself into a meeting and agree I need to take charge of my life one more time. And the way I did it is to quit and get out. I always wonder when I was quitting whether I knew exactly where I was going. Maybe I did not have 100% clarity of where I was going. But the one thing I knew is that I might pursue my greatness regardless of what the cost is. And when I came out, as is written in my book, I have said that, shared in my book, I became a laughing stock. I became a gossip from my friends and even my enemies, because people are asking, this girl has left a glorified career where she was able to be in all the golf clubs, etc. Now I have to tear my credit card because I can no longer afford to pay for those luxuries. But I needed to do that again because it was the right thing, the right thing to do. And out of that, I set up a small audit firm called Esther Obasi-ike and Company. Most people don't pick that in my conversation, and it is because for me, it was the stepping stone of it was a stepping stone, and that's what I knew most. Having audited for 10 years, I can tell you I was a good auditor. But then I knew in my heart, in the deep of my heart, that is not my end game. That is not where I settle. And therefore, when telecommunication came, call it being at the right place at the right time. The world people will say that it is luck, but I don't believe in luck. But I know at that time, not knowing what I was dipping myself into, I embraced telecommunication and I became a Safaricom dealer. And that is how my journey, my real journey of an entrepreneur started. And from there on, for 10 years, honestly, I focused on only that business. And that is important because people will wonder, why did I take 10 years to focus on only one business? And I'll tell you why. My resources were limited. I could not have the right structure then because I could not afford it. I did not have capital, and so I could not diversify. I guess my banks also didn't believe that, especially as a woman, I didn't have any security. And so for me, it was an issue of working little by little, investing all the profits that I ever made back to the business. In fact, my first transaction, I always say, it was Kenya shillings 50,000. And honestly and truthfully, after I did my shop, I didn't have anything else outside my 50,000. So I kept on investing back. I remember sometimes the bank manager would call me and tell me, Esther, there is a check here and there is no money. And I could tell them by 10 o'clock there'll be money. And therefore, this is what I say. My greatest asset is not even capital. It's not even the loans that I get from the banks. Today, my greatest asset is honesty and integrity. And if that is compromised in any way, I would rather leave the deal, no matter how big it is, on the table, because I recognize that is what made, for example, Safaricom to trust me, even to do the big business and even to pilot them. That is what make my creditors even today believe in me and give me credits even when I don't have time money. That is what my banks gives me loan even today. And so for me, the greatest asset that I hold so dearly is honesty and integrity. And after the 10 years, I diversified little by little on the real estate. I bought to the extent that I could afford. There are some properties that costed me 100,000, and actually there's one that costed me 30,000, and today is worth a few million Kenya shillings. So when people look at me now, they think that I have those valuable assets because of today, but it's not because of today. It's because I was able to save and invest to the extent I could afford it then. And even then, it was a sacrifice. To get 100,000 and to get that 1,000 then, it was still a sacrifice. But I believed that if I start there, I'll become the person that I want to be in the future. So for another 3 years or so, I started now being able to invest a little bit here and there. After that, I was able, and I can confirm, for a period of time, I could invest into a new company every 2 years. And then I realized I have the structure and I have the support. And then after 6 months, I could also invest into another. And in 2019, before the COVID, I actually bought into 3 companies. And that's how my empire, as people see it today, has been built. Thank you.
My goodness, we get back to that empire. Before then, my people are telling me that your people have not shared this conversation on your own Facebook. I wonder why your people are not sharing such an important thing. They said it's not on your own Facebook. So I expect...
They are telling me it's there.
My people are saying it's not there. Have
you seen it?
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Are they talking about YouTube? Are they talking about Facebook? So that I understand.
Where? We are on Facebook.
All right. So let me ask my people.
Mm-hmm. So people engage you? Yes. Okay.
All right. So we are hearing you loud and clear. I've asked my people to explain why they say they can't find it. They are saying it's not there. Apollonia is saying it is not there. So maybe you ask your people, where are they exactly? Because Apollonia knows all Facebooks.
Let them check. Let them talk and confirm.
Yeah, they are saying it is not there. So let them check and let us
because
know.
We'll disappoint our people, because we also told them we'll be there. Yeah. So
yeah, correct. So she said you guys are not there. She's right there and she's saying there is nothing there. So they need to be sure what they are saying. Otherwise, we would have really given a lot of information and people are not getting the information. All right. So we have heard that there are 2 pillars, powerful pillars. Those of you that know me, I don't think those pillars are new to you. Honesty and integrity. They are coming out again, that those are the pillars that help us to build our businesses, build credible relationships. And this is very, very important. I see some of you who may have followed us in our service earlier today, or maybe you came to church, saying that some of these things are sounding, when she was talking about herself, they are sounding like the sermon of today. Is it well with you? Is it really well with you? This is very important. She has explained how we must be sure that it is well with us in terms of our eating habit, in terms of our exercise, and things like that. So integrity and honesty, very key. Now back to you, Esther. can you mention the names of your businesses? There could be people who are not very familiar with your businesses. They need to know where they are, and to understand these businesses we are talking about. How big are these businesses? How diverse are they? So that we can be able to understand your passion. Are they interrelated? Are they different from each other? So just give us the names of these businesses.
The first company was Samshi Telecom, and some people ask me where I got that name. That company, the name is from my son Sam and Shiro. It's as simple as that. Today I know the power of the name, and I'm glad that God protected me then when I did not understand the power of the name, and I still got a name that has a meaning. And that is a company that was the first Safaricom dealer. And then in that space of telecommunication, we have 4 companies. We have Samshi, we have Forward, we have Jumbo.com, we have Magut, and we have Forward. The 3 companies, we have bought them. The first one we were given as a contractual relationship, but the 3 companies have bought them over time. Then we have got what we call the Samchi Height, and it is the owner of the real estate. And those who have followed me must have seen that we have started selling some land now. And this is land that we acquired over many years. At that point, I didn't even understand that this is what I'll be doing, what I'm doing now. But yes, we are now aggressively going back there and liquidating some of the lots that we bought many years down the line and releasing some of them to the people so that we can share what we have kept over many years. We are also in hospitality industry. The place I'm zooming in is called After 40 Hotel. Is one of my flagship businesses. It is in Biashara Street, opposite Equity. It's an 11-story building, and I love it. I love it. I love it. And again, it has a story. It has its story. It has its history. And if I sit here and start sharing how we got it, you can only say God is faithful. Let me summarize it that way. Then we have another building on Tomboya Street. And in Tomboya Street, next to Odeon, the building that houses Cooperative Bank is actually our building as well. And we have a restaurant there called Heavenly Wings. We have another business. We have some studios there called Space International, where we also provide furnished apartments. And we have a company called Samchi Digital, who are the people who are actually streaming me today, and they are entertainment. We have a company called Linen and Deco and Capra. They are in entertainment. I hope you are beginning to feel that a lot of our businesses are interconnected. But honestly, when I was doing them, I did not know. But during COVID time, I sat back because I do believe diversification is important. So I started feeling somehow we are a lot in a related hospitality industry. So I am beginning to feel that truly I don't want to say we are overinvested, but we are now sensitive that we have quite a number of companies in that industry. And now there are so many. And then there is a company that we started last year, SNL, where we want to go into supplements. And we have already started the journey because I believe that there is a place of supplements in getting our people healthy. It is still a very young company, so I'm not 100% sure of the direction, but I believe that will provide an answer and a solution. And yes, Pastor, we have more than 13 companies. I may have forgotten a few of them, and we are still daily. Oh yes, there is one called Janali that I'm working on right now, and this is going to go into agriculture because I believe, yes, I believe in this statement that the next billionaires will come from agriculture. And because they'll come from Africa, from agriculture, they'll come from Africa. Why do I have the confidence that they'll come from Africa? Because at the moment, Africa has 65% of the arable land in the world. I can say that authoritatively because the statistics that I've looked into and I know. Africa is the only continent that is having a growing and educated population. Honestly, Africa is blessed with minerals. So I think there is a wealth that is going to come out of the natural resources. The tourism is great for Africa. And so these are the areas that are not tapped yet in the world. And I want to believe Africa better play a part in it. And in my own small way, maybe just to set an example, if nothing else, I want to be there. That reminds me that we have another business we are calling AgroHub. You'll soon be seeing it launched out there, where we want to talk to the young people and tell them it is possible to create wealth out of the soil. And I know some of the biggest challenges that the young are having is availability of capital and finance. And we are talking with a few groups. We hope soon and very soon we'll do and we'll give an answer to the extent we can manage it.
Wow, before we move on, I have seen where the challenge of your people is. Apollonia is saying what your people did is that they shared the link of the YouTube on your Facebook instead of going to my page. What they're supposed to have done was to go to my page, Esther Obasi-ike's page, go to where it is saying share, then they share it to Esther Muchemi's page. So, but what they did, they took the link for the YouTube. I think they posted it on your Facebook. So instead of now going to my own page and sharing. So what Apollonia has done, Apollonia has sent to your PA Lynn the link of the Facebook. So kindly let her click on that link of my own page, and she will now go to share and share to your own page. That's the way to share Facebook. Otherwise it will be complicated. People on Facebook may not be able to go to YouTube. All right. So I believe that she should be able to catch it now that they have sent her the link to know what to do.
They're working on it.
Yeah, correct. So now imagine as you were talking, I could count how many companies that are under you. Companies that are under a woman, I think they are, if you look at the sub ones, like the telecom has different arms and branches. Then you look at the restaurant, you look at the hotel, you look at the real estate, you look at, I mean, my goodness, microfinance, you look at the new ones, and you are not yet resting. You are not yet saying, I think I've had enough. I think I've had enough. You've even gone into research to understand the next move. The next move of African billionaires will be made through agriculture. Can you talk about the power of vision? Because as I'm listening to you, if somebody owns half of what you own, that individual should be okay. But you are still looking into the future. You are still researching to understand where is the world going. And by the way, what you have said about agriculture is very true. I've had it on the televisions. I've read in the magazines that the next move of wealth will be through agriculture. And you are already ahead thinking of what to do, launching new companies. What does it take for somebody to think like you?
Yes, first of all, I want I want to confirm that you must recognize yourself as an entrepreneur, as a person who carries the vision. That must be very clear in your mind. So even as you look for help, because you must search and look and go out for help, you must always believe and know that you are the vision bearer. And if you are the vision bearer, the responsibility is on you to always keep on looking ahead and releasing the vision, first of all, to yourself, and then to the people that are working under you. You notice that for the first 10 years, I did nothing else except the telecommunication, because it is important that you set the processes right, you have the structures right, you have the confidence that that one business is stable enough before you can move into the next businesses. The what I do most today is, number one, is to be the vision bearer, is to guide, is to lead, is just to be there to collect when things are not working as they should. For you to be able to attain such a position, you must be very careful and very deliberate on the people you have chosen to work with you. You remember the story of Moses and his father-in-law. He was told, if you continue working the way you are working, you are going to break down. But look out for men who can do the simple works that you don't need to do, and just allow yourself to be concentrating on only what is big. For Moses, it was praying to God and all that. So for me, that is what I believe in. And there is a cost of deciding to operate your businesses that way. There is an opportunity cost when you decide that my business is not about me or my family, but is about carrying other people along with me. I can tell you, Pastor, and the people who are listening to us today, when we started our businesses, there were people who chose to be shopkeepers. They are the cashier people, they are the ones buying the phones, they are the ones doing all that work, because there was a fear that people might steal from you, and I don't know what, and so many other things. For me, I made a decision that I want from day one to share what I have with the rest of the people. And I'm willing to take a back seat and allow other people to be managers with me. And so each of my businesses is guided and led by a neighbor general manager, a manager. And this is what I tell my people, and they are my witnesses, that me, I am an investor. They are the ones who are the owners of businesses. And so my work on a daily and a continuous basis is to make the people feel that they are owners of the business. In fact, one of the values that we have when you walk in our offices is the spirit of entrepreneurship. And I tell my people that me, I don't know how to create employees. I know how to create entrepreneurs. And once you charge them to become the entrepreneurs that they must be, then they have no choice but become owners of the business. Because thinking of it, what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is that person who sees an opportunity, who sees a problem in the society, and decides he will or she will be a solution to that problem. Then decides to take a risk by bringing the resources together to solve that problem to the society. So if you teach your people to think that way, then you are able to become bigger than yourself. And there's one thing that I always say: if the vision you have and what you have is all about you, is all about your stomach and about your family, your immediate family, well, why would you expect God to bless you beyond that basic level? I'm one of those people who believe that I am a steward, and your responsibility and the stewardship that God has given you is equal to how responsible you are with the small that God has given you. If you cannot take care of a shop, how would you expect God to give you an empire? So it is important to develop the spirit of stewardship. It is important to agree that there is only so much that you can do. And because of that, you need to bring in people to help you out. And you cannot bring in people to help you and to work with you in a common vision if the vision, for example, is not documented, written down, so that people can follow and understand you. So for me, I'm a very process-driven person. I'm a very, I hope this is good English, I'm very delegation. I believe in delegation. I believe in systems. I believe in feedback. I believe in teaching people and making them work with me as long as they understand me. Yeah.
You know, as you were talking, there was a question that was coming to my mind that I'll ask you. In the process, you answered it. I wanted to ask you, there is no way you could be, or you can be effective and effectively delivering your products in all these areas of business if you don't have the right people on board. Then along the way, you now talked about the people that are working with you, that they own the vision. They are entrepreneurs. They are not just employees, they are entrepreneurs. Can you tell us how you recruit staff? How do you recruit staff to be sure that you have gotten the right people?
Well, I must admit that that is not a very easy something. And to me, by the way, that continues and remains to be my biggest problem. In fact, when I want to set up a new company, the first thing I start thinking and imagining and wanting to have a solution is who will be the team leader, who will work with me in that journey. I'm also glad, and I think it's good to put this in perspective, that my children are also working with me, and they are working with me. And as they came into the business, wow, first of all, when they finished their first degree, nobody wanted to hear about my companies or working near or working with mom. And I understand that problem because, unlike, for argument's sake, allow me to mention this, unlike the Asian people who right from day one teach their children to become part of our business, in the African context, we have always grown, and we have, some of us have even said this, that if Yashara, this business is mine, you grow up and be educated and go look for yours. Personally, I cannot say that with my mouth because I know the power of the mouth, the power of the tongue. So my children work with me, and because of that, they have an ownership and an understanding of the business. However, where we are is where we say, and we confidently say this, and we share even with my children, that where our business has reached is no longer about us. In fact, the other day, my daughter told me that she's now feeling overwhelmed, and I need to release her from some of the duties. And so, people and our legacy will not only depend on me and my children, but of the people. And so, the top layer below me, I do that recruitment personally. And I make a lot of efforts to understand the value, especially the value system, because this is what I believe in. Give me the right attitude, I can create. Of course, they have to be learned, but give me the right attitude, and I'll be able to create somebody out of whoever you give me. But if the attitude is wrong, and that is one of the problems that we are having today with our young people, if the attitude is not right, then you have a big problem. And then the other conversation now I'm having with my leader, including as late as yesterday, I told my people, yes, I want to recruit you, but I want you also to start learning how to recruit the people below you. And I want you to understand me and what I stand for. The worst betrayal that I feel at times is when what I believe in does not go beyond the second layer of my leadership. And to be honest, that is one of the things I'm working on at the moment, because it takes time for the whole organization to be aligned, to what you truly believe in. Another thing that helps us to work together is because of our values. Our values are written. We memorize them. And I know it's not memorizing them that makes them our values. And I always tell them, even as I recruit them, the values that I believe in, first of all, are my personal value. They then became the family value, and today they are corporate values. Because of that, at a personal level, at a business level, and at a family level, I'm very consistent. So if you understand me from that perspective, you then find it very easy to work with me. But if you don't understand me, I usually say I'm not a very easy CEO to work with, because for you to be successful, you cannot operate in mediocrity. And sometimes people will mistake that for even arrogance or whatever you want to call it. But it's because if you believe in excellence, you must demand excellence from the people that work with you. And so our contractual relationship with our people is not only on paperwork, and that is absolutely very clear, both from my side and from their side. For example, we have one value that we say: we believe in fairness and equality. We believe in care and concern. And care and concern was coined by my daughter, because we say there's so many things we come across that you cannot even write and document in a contract. And we ask ourselves, what is this thing that will make us relate with people like they are people, not because they are getting a salary or they are giving us work? And we say, we need to start caring about people because they are people. We need to start caring about people because they are created in the image of God. And as I care about people, I also demand honesty that they care about me. There are many times I'll tell my people, I am a CEO, but I'm also a human being. And there are times I also expect you to relate with me, not as a CEO, but as a human being. And once you create that environment, there are people who have worked with me for very long years, especially at the top level, at the lower level, and that's a common problem in the country. Yes, there is turnover, but every day I'm desiring that I should create a team that is loyal and faithful and who believes that we can conquer the world, because I can't conquer the world alone. I need a team to allow me to conquer the world.
Thank you so much. I've never seen a great company that has the wrong people on the team. It doesn't work. I keep talking about this great book, From Good to Great. When you read the book From Good to Great, you see how companies move from being good to being great. Majorly, once there is a vision and the visionary is purpose driven, the next thing is to have the right people on the bus. For as long as you don't have the right people, that vision will be frustrated. Either your vision is frustrated or the visionary herself or himself will be frustrated because there are no quality deliveries. And when there are no quality deliveries, you can actually get tired and exhausted of your vision. And so I totally agree with you that the right people who understand the core values of the organization must be there. And I love what you have done by bringing in your children into the company. That's a very good thing. That's the way the Jewish people, if you remember Abraham brought in Isaac brought in Jacob brought in, if you look at the Jewish system, you see that sometimes other people that are not even Christians apply those principles, and they have posterity, they have legacies. We that are Christians, we do not do that. So it's good to have your children, provided the children we are bringing on board are children that own the vision, children that keep posterity. It is very good to bring our family members on board in our success story. It is very important, especially for continuity. Somebody by the name Rosalind Anindo is saying, aren't we blessed as a church? That they are talking about Solution Center, that we have Mommy Esther. The strategies being shared here are faith clinic lessons, and we have no reason to fail in the marketplace. This fellow is my member. She's saying Every Wednesday, I teach them on strategies. Currently, we are looking at the book of Joshua. So every Wednesday, we deliver the message to them on strategies on how to survive in the marketplace, strategies on how to fight battles, strategies on how to do ABCD. And that's what she's saying, that the things they are hearing here are things they've already had in those lessons. So I believe that God brings different people to repeat what we have said, to make it more credible and authentic. That's why the Bible says, once has God spoken, but twice have we heard. So when we bring people and we see consistency in strategies, it tells us that there cannot be shortcuts. There cannot be shortcuts. No matter how we pray, no matter what we do, we must follow the principles that operate in the marketplace that lead to success and greatness. All right, we have just about 8 minutes to close the show. I want to remind all of you that next Sunday will be our last show in the year 2021. God has been so gracious. I want you to join me to thank God for the grace He has supplied to me. It has not been easy. Every Sunday, today I preach 2 services in church, and here we are. And after now, I have another family meeting by 10 p.m. So keep on praying for us, keep on praying for me, that God will also give me this grace to continue to help you shape your life and navigate through your careers. I also want you to thank God, particularly for Apollonia. I want to thank God for Apollonia, because if Apostle Paul was to be here today, he will write, the fellow that coordinates all his Keep It Real show is Apollonia. Apollonia is the one that talks to my guests. Some of the guests, I meet them on show. Some of them I knew before. Some of them I'm meeting newly. Like I'm meeting Esther through Apollonia. So Apollonia get the guest. Apollonia is the one that communicates with them. Apollonia does the flyer. Are you seeing what an individual does to help this particular show? So please thank God. As you thank God for me, know that there is somebody behind the curtain who is also pushing forward this agenda. Thank God for her life too. All right. As we are about to close this show, I want to ask you, how do you give back to the society?
Let me start that. As I have stated earlier on, I believe that if what you have is only about you, I don't think God has a good enough reason to keep on blessing you. But resources will always flow to those people who have a greater vision than that goes beyond them. Because of that, we make um, we make efforts and we do what we must do to give back to the society. We have people that we have paid school fees. As late as Thursday, I paid a medical bill of somebody who was so desperate to have a surgery on their eyes. So as much as we are not very formal in, like, for example, having a foundation, all the requests that come on my table, there is a team that looks into everything that comes on our table. And as God guides us, and to the extent that the resources are available, we will contribute. It is part of our what we must do, both as responsible corporate and individual that are responsible, and also because God demands that we do that. The corporate world, the marketplace, will call it CSR. And yes, there is a place of CSR, but there is also a place of giving back in more than one form, as God has commanded and instructed us to do in His Word.
All right. As we begin to close, a good number of people have asked a question. I want to give them the feedback. They are asking, do you mentor people? Do you have a forum for mentorship? I want to answer those of you who are asking that. I've already discussed with Esther. I'm trusting God that there will be some areas we will partner with her for the Queen Esther's generation and Queen Esther's next generation. Those two arms are where my passion is in terms of entrepreneurship. And so I've already shared with her that once in a year during July, we normally have economic empowerment for women, and we will like her to come on board to teach you, because you see, she has talked about microfinance. She has microfinance. Some women may need to access it for their businesses. And so we cannot say all this in 1 hour show. So we are trusting God that in July we must have our summit the way we used to have it before, trusting God that this second variant that has come will not be in Kenya by God's grace. And so we will have our July summit. And in that July summit, we normally have an arm where we have economic empowerment. I've already shared it with her. So we are looking forward to her coming to train you people and to speak to you people on how to build business empires. Somebody is saying, Mommy, and I want to read it because the fellow must have read one of my books. The fellow is saying, Mommy, your book, 10 Irrefutable Strategies for Conquest, resonates with tonight's show. Correct. This fellow has read my book. I've written about, I think, 8 books or thereabout. And one of my books talks about the principles that you can apply anywhere, across career, across anywhere, and it will help you to penetrate into a new terrain, whether it's in business, whether it's in ministry, and ability to conquer that place and to take dominion. And so that book is also recommended for any of you to buy. You see, you people need to learn how to read books. You need to learn how to read books because there is no way somebody can teach you principles even in 1 day seminar. It is not possible. So after the fellow has taught, you must go and read. You must go and read. So make sure that you are somebody who reads and somebody who internalizes what you read. So yes, the answer is yes. Dr. Esther mentors people, and we are going to have a structured partnership with her for next year and see how she can come on board, both for training and also what she can do for our little girls, because she started quite early, and we want them to know that one can start early. Sammy is saying, you are an inspiration to the world, Esther. Clearly, God uses people like you to show leadership and direction in many spheres of life. Keep touching lives clear. Blessings. So thank you for all your comments. Many of you are really appreciating what is going on here, and you are thanking God for such an amazing stuff. And I also want you to patronize her business. Fire begets fire. So when you want to do some things and you need a hotel, you need a restaurant to go and hang out, why don't you just go to that restaurant, and maybe you never know, you can meet her personally. Possibly you can meet her. Yeah, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. You can walk in there just to take chips and drink within this Christmas, and you enter and just discover that, my goodness, that is Dr. Esther. Who knows? You never know how a relationship can begin. Somebody say, Mama, I am personally praying for you. Oh, somebody is talking to me. Mama, I'm personally praying for you. Keep it real show to me is a learning experience. I am applying so many lessons from here. Only kneeling from Pastor O has refused. I don't understand that. God bless you, ma. Okay, I don't understand what you mean by only kneeling from Pastor O has refused. I don't understand it. You can explain it. Now, next Sunday, by God's grace, will be the last Keep It Real show for the year. And I'm going to host a powerful doctor from the United States of America who is an expert. She has a PhD in nursing in the area of mental health. Mental health. We have seen a lot of things happening around us. You saw how a man on uniform killed people a few days ago. You see how people are killing each other. There are families that have some mental health issue and they don't know how to go about it. When I had a conversation with this my friend yesterday, I got a shock. She told me, Ma, give me 5 mad people on the street, mad people that are naked, moving around. Give me, sorry, one of them. In 5 days, I will give you somebody that is normal. I asked her, what do you mean? She said, you know, there are many things in Africa we call witchcraft. That is not witchcraft. There are many things in Africa we say devil has done this. Yes, even if it is devil, there is a solution. I asked her, she said, I am going to take your people through next Sunday. They will discover that there are some of the things that are genetic. It is from their family. And there is a way we correct it medically. She even asked me, I hope you have good pharmacies, pharmaceutical chemists in Kenya, because pharmaceutical stores in Kenya, because there are drugs I will prescribe. She told me she has read on mental health, psychiatric issues until there is nothing more for her to read. That's what she said. She said, unless now going into research. So we are going to host her on Sunday. You may discover that there are behaviors you have or your family members have. And if we don't arrest it, it can lead to depression. And those who are already in depression, what can be done to correct it? And she will bring in different areas, even some who are mentally, mad. There are things like that she was talking. So please don't miss the last show. Usually, the last show of the year is always the Obasi-ike's show. Normally, it's the family, my family, that does the last show. But because of the mental health urgent need in Kenya, I said no. Let's listen to this woman, because who knows whether she'll be too busy next year. So let me use the opportunity to bring her on board. So make sure you close very well with us on Sunday, and also help us to promote what we are doing. I want to say thank you to all of you, and I go back to my guest to ask her in one sentence, what is her parting shot?
This is what I would want to say, that each of us has been created differently with our own calling, our destiny, our inheritance. Because of that, let's set ourselves apart. Let's not lose our way because we are following common practices. Let's believe that we are remnants and we can make a difference in the world today. Marion Blackley said this: you can't leave a footprint that lasts if you are always walking on tiptoe, especially the women. Desire to leave a mark. Make the noise that will make you achieve what you must achieve, because you have a purpose. You are not an accident in this world. Thank you.
You have made a profound statement. I am picking from it. We are a remnant, and that is the truth. We are a remnant, so we are not going to give up on making demands for excellence. We are a remnant. It's not a popular opinion. You have talked about you cannot follow the normal things people do. No, you must have to set out a goal that leads you to having an outstanding ovation in the world. And I love the quote you gave. I wish my people can catch it and write it for us down. I love to refer to such. Please make that quote again. That you cannot leave a finger or something on earth if you are doing a tiptoe. Give us that thing. Let my people write. Somebody say you cannot leave a footprint if you walk on tiptoe.
You can't leave a footprint that lasts if you are always walking on tiptoe.
Correct. You cannot leave a footprint that lasts.
Exactly.
If you are always walking on tiptoe. By who?
By Marion Blackley.
All right.
Marion,
So
Maroon RIONBRAKELY.
All right. So you ladies and gentlemen, help me to write it. You will add it to your life principles. You look at yourself and ask yourself, am I tiptoeing all the time? Or am I walking? You know,
Why are you
that will help
walking?
you to know where you are. Thank you so much. We are going to go offline now, but please, Esther, wait, give me a few minutes to talk to you outside the live this thing. You guys have a wonderful weekend, a beautiful week. And let me ask you the way I asked them in church today. Is it well with you, you as an individual? Is it well with your husband? That is relationship you have. That it means, is it well with home? Is it well with your spouse? That's the question. Elisha asked the woman of Shunem. Is it well with you? You as an individual, the year is coming to an end. Is it well with you? And the way to be well with you, it begins with your soul. The second question he asked her, is it well with your husband? Your relationship, your intimate relationship, is it well with it? And finally, is it well with your child? Parenting, parent-children relationship, is it well with them? Those three questions, if you can't answer that it is well with them, it may be difficult for it to be well with you in the marketplace. It needs to be well with you as an individual first, then in the home needs to be well before the marketplace will be well. I pray that it is well with you, and have a Merry Christmas. See you on Wednesday in our faith clinic. See you on Sunday, this coming Sunday. Don't forget, stand in the gap with Daddy, changing the narratives on Friday prayer. Don't forget our prayer tomorrow, our revival prayer tomorrow. Please join me as we keep on praying. Then don't forget Sunday service and the evening Keep It Real show next Sunday, which will be the last in the year. A Merry Christmas to every one of you, and good night from here, Nairobi, Kenya.